What small creature would be scary human-sized? Pretty much any land invertebrate. Spiders, earthworms, scorpions, centipedes, cockroaches, beetles, ants, locusts, flies, mosquitoes, you name it, all of them would be fucking terrifying if they could somehow survive at that size. Edit, how the fuck did I forget hornets? Double edit, I'm so sorry for forgetting hornets, the invasion was my fault. As a man that has had multiple ticks on my testicles, I'm gonna say ticks. If they were human size they would probably be like vampires, but instead of the neck they would drain us from the crotch. Did you encounter some sort of tick which bored through your scrotum, directly onto your testicles? Because, that is not only horrifying, but something I once encountered personally. Thank goodness I eventually divorced her. I hope that your scrotum and testicles are good now, like mine, best wishes from the internet. Snails? They have tons of teeth. I toured a snail farm in Crete last year. Super fascinating. I spent a day just looking up snail facts. Totally changed my perception of them. I always thought of snails as pointless. Slow, easy to catch, easy to kill. But then I learned they can have over 10,000 teeth. Some snails can survive freezing temperatures by producing this slime to coat them and protect them. Also, I'm jealous they can sleep for years at a time. Chickens. It would be like Jurassic Park with feathers. Belly, spilling your intestines. The point is, you are alive when they start to eat you. So you know. Try to show a little respect. Try to imagine yourself in the Cretaceous period. You get your first look at this 6-foot turkey as you enter a clearing. He moves like a bird, lightly, bobbing his head. And you keep still because you think that maybe his visual acuity is based on movement like T-Rex, he'll lose you if you don't move. But no, not Velociraptor. You stare at him, and he just stares right back. And that's when the attack comes. Not from the front, but from the side, from the other two raptors you didn't even know were there. Because Velociraptor's a pack hunter, you see. He uses coordinated attack patterns and he is out in force today. And he slashes at you with this a 6-inch retractable claw, like a razor, on the middle toe. He doesn't bother to bite your jugular like a lion, oh no. He slashes at you here, makes slashing motions below the chest, or here. Above the groin, or maybe across the... I was telling my girlfriend this. They can lift 50x their body weight. Imagine being attacked by a huge ass ant and being ripped in half with ease. Obligatory, they can lift that much because they are tiny, and if they were the size of humans, they wouldn't even be able to lift their own exoskeleton. It would not be that slow. Oxygen's diffusion rate in water-based fluids is shit. And ants rely entirely on diffusion through the high surface area of their tracheal systems. They literally have no hemoglobins or any similar oxygen carriers in their blood, so if you just straight scaled them up they would suffocate in minutes. Caterpillars. I did research on caterpillars. Raised them. Dissected them. Their mouth parts are terrifying. And some of them become cannibalistic or are straight up predatory. Not all just happy herbivores. And did you know they have 6 eyes on each side? And the silk they spin comes out of their mouth. And their fleshy fake prolegs are covered in rows of sharp hooks. And some have poisonous barbs covering their body. I love them, but I'm glad they're small. Worms? Those fuckers are scary. Worms actually live off of dirt and probably wouldn't bother us much. They live off of dirt, so won't bother us. Just imagine. It starts to rain, and you hear a CHK 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 sound, so you walk outside, curious about what it is, only to find a sea of 6-foot-tall, segmented pinkish beige monstrosities emerging from holes in your yard almost a foot thick. The regular ones are scary enough. One day when I was in Macau, I was carrying provisions when one of these huge flying fuckers decided it was a good idea to land on my chest. I screamed like a pig and proceeded to throw away the content of my bags everywhere around in the panic. I get chills just thinking about it. And yes, I'm a grown-ass man. Most insects, but parasitic wasps, NSFL, in particular. Imagine walking along when suddenly out of the sky you are suddenly stabbed with a huge needle. You're temporarily paralyzed, but hey, you survived the attack, great, right? Except a day later or so you start to feel kind of bad. Then worse, as if there are dozens of worms in your body and they are eating you from the inside out. A few days later you are paralyzed again, and the worms begin eating their way out of you. You can't move or scream, all you can do is lay there as a bunch of maggots chew through your skin and begin wriggling around out of your body. Suddenly your mind goes blank, and all you can think to do is attack anything that gets near the now cocoon-wrapped maggots. You blindly defend the things that just burst from your body until you starve to death or bleed out. Sleep well. The tardigrade. Already been done in Star Trek Discovery, but they stole the idea from a video game. I don't think it was stolen from that game. Sure, the game had giant tardigrades in a sci-fi space setting and the tardigrades allowed teleportation, and that sounds pretty similar, but the game was unreleased at the time and only had a very small number of views to its trailer when Star Trek was released. Not to mention, a majority of the copyright claim is saying the game has a black woman, and Star Trek has a black woman, the game has a blonde guy and Star Trek has a blonde guy. Interesting write-up on it here, https://www.plagiarismtoday.com/2018/09/11/understanding the Star Trek Discovery plagiarism allegations/. Semen. Like a giant semen losing its shit out in the streets, looking for an egg to beat its head against. Can you imagine trying to bust a nut with sperm the size of a human? Would it just be the one sperm or would it still be millions? The human race wouldn't survive long regardless, unless there was some biological change that allowed it, because I imagine shooting something human-sized out of a hole as small as the urethra is just gonna blow your dick off. Blowjobs would become a thing of the past and I've probably put way too much thought into this. Depends on the state of the human. A human-sized dog is comical if the human being used as a reference is an infant. A small creature such as a human infant the size of an adult human, is a terrifying image. Imagine a hefty 250 pounds 3-month-old baby. Guinea pigs. Their teeth are sharp as fuck. And if they mistook a human for a carrot. Mr. President, we have a problem. What? Human-sized guinea pigs are roaming the planet. Okay, and? They like carrots. They chew on everything, they also like to squabble with each other for dominance. If you ever saw a giant chittering its teeth at you, you'd be screwed. They bicker in other non-aggressive ways, but the teeth chittering is much more intense. I own two that are brothers. We named them Loki and Thor. Worms? Just imagine a worm as big as you crawling under your house just to eat you. National Geographic impression, in Australian voice. Over there we see the Homo sapien worm, name taken from Homo sapien, also known as human, waiting a fine bit of weeks until this man gets out of his house. The worm is now stuck between two sewer pipes, and it seems like the worm has gave up on the man. The worm is now heading to the street of his neighbor's neighbor. It found a couple of teenagers have a party outside. Oh, there the worm takes its first chance, and it missed. Now it's trying its second chance, and the worm takes its first bite of 3 teenagers. Oh, how brutal. The worm seems to be full now, and it will continue its hunt later on. Thanks for watching Wormy World. TBH, COVID-19 is gonna be nothing compared to this. The mantis shrimp. The mantis shrimp can punch with the so fast underwater they make shockwaves. So fast in fact it lights up the water around them in a process called triboluminescence. I think that's what it's called anyway. Their shells are so strong that they are being researched for the development of weapons. And they are not in fact shrimps. If you ever see rainbow-colored death approaching you on 10 legs, know that the crabocalypse has come.